Okay, let me start the record button and I'll put the screen share on again and we'll get back to business. Okay, right. Let me just get this on, come on. This not work. Hang on a second, let me sort this out. Doesn't seem to be working. Right. Okay, right, I've got it now. Okay. So did anybody have any comments they wanted to make about the previous one? Anybody want to make any comments? Did anybody want to say anything about that last one? Hello, Ahmed?
Hello, Dr. Kevin. Hello.
Ahmed, how's it going?
I'm okay. I really appreciate your help. I have a question, please.
Yeah, man, sure.
Regarding and combining, he was not worried and is reluctant. Is it okay?
He was not, yeah, because it's two separate emotions.
We can combine different tenses with and. I was told that and should the two senses
parallel a structure.
It's okay. It's okay to combine past with simple.
Well, he isn't worried and is reluctant. It doesn't make a lot of difference, really. I mean, it's a minor point. Are you talking about in this letter here? It won't. Is it in this letter that you're talking about?
Yes.
On the screen now.
The fourth paragraph. Hence, he wasn't worried that his wife is getting pregnant and reluctant to be investigated.
Oh, yeah. Well, right, yeah, because who's writing on the screen? Can you stop it? Right, so, right, okay, thanks. Right, it's slightly complicated. So you are writing the letter today, you're writing it now. They came to see you today. So the day's not over yet. So although they came to see you in the past, maybe they've only just finished and walked out of the door and you are writing it now. So he is not worried. Maybe we should make it present in general that his wife.
That's what I mean. He is now worried,
because I've just asked him, and he's not, and he is reluctant to be investigated now because I have just asked him.
Okay, I got it. I got your point. Thanks.
So it's difficult to say because you are writing a letter now about something that happened today. The day's not finished yet, even though the past action has. So it's kind of a bit awkward. If in doubt, just use a parallel structure. So he is and he is, yeah?
Okay, another question, please, doctor. About being penalized. What's more worth marks, the structure or the data, the notes I may miss?
Well, the most important thing is task achievement. That's the thing that the examiners put the most weight on. If you watch any of Jay's videos on E2, he explains that quite well. it's basically, it's task achievement. Do you do what you are supposed to do? That's the most important thing in terms of the words of the count. I mean, the criteria are plain. I'll show you them. You've probably seen them. If it's too long or too short, you can get a lower score. Let me just get this out of the way. Oh, come here, right? And let me pull this here. So here we go. We've got the criteria. You should have seen this. So if it's a little bit long, not too much, it's, you know, a little bit long, but if it's too long, far too long, so they say, you know, 180 to 200 words, 290, well, that's, you know, too long. Somebody sent me a letter, no, two people, two first-time writers sent me a letter at the weekend, and they were 370 words. Far too long, far too long. They put everything in. They put all of the case notes in. That was far too long. So the word count, it's only important if it's obviously too short. If it's obviously too long. If it's a little bit, it doesn't matter. So that's okay. You've got to watch that. So we've got a couple more people want to have some questions. Mafruha, I don't know if I've said that correctly. Hello?
Yes. Yes. Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Not so bad. Not so bad.
Okay. Yeah, I have two questions. First, regarding this sentence, he is not worried, and if I write like this, is reluctant to get investigated.
Well,
will it be all right?
Well, no, because if you're using in get, it's causative. It's causative. You know, right? So the causative using have, make, and get, it's a form of passive. All right. So I'll just I'll put it in the chat box, and you can investigate it yourself. It's causative.
Okay.
Using have, make, and get. So it's a kind of passive where you don't perform the action, someone else does it for you. So I have my hair cut by a barber. I get my car serviced by a mechanic. So I'm not performing the action, someone else is. So it's a form of passive. It's causative. So using reluctant to get investigated by, you know,
doctor.
Who? So I think B is better.
B is better.
Be okay. Investigated, because we don't usually use get as a verb in collocation with investigated. It's like usually be investigated or is being, you know. So it's just a question of collocation. We don't usually use get, a verb, in collocation with investigate.
To be investigated would be right.
Yeah.
So my second question is, as we know, there is a mark for understanding of my task in the writing module. Here, the patient insisted GP to refer her to gynecologist for the issue of infertility. GP didn't refer herself. So, shall we need to state it in the introductory paragraph that I am referring this patient as she is insisting? should I mention it?
Oh, I see your point. Well, let me have a look at the case notes. I always say go to the language.
Last para is that on insistence of Mrs. Conway, the GP referred the patient and her husband to infertility specialist.
She wants to be referred to
Evaluate.
infertility specialist. At Karen's insistence, you agree to refer them. I don't think it makes a lot of difference, really. I mean, whether you say that you are you are still making a referral. Doesn't really matter whether it's you are reluctantly referring them or not. You are still making a referral, and I don't think it matters to the reader that you didn't want this. You know, the fact remains that you are asking the gynecologist to do something for you. Does it really matter if she insisted? Because you agreed. It says you agree. So
they say that they made a note that GP already counseled the couple that it's not too late yet. They have still some time to try further, but Karen insisted so much that at this point of time, GP reluctantly agreed to refer them to infertility specialist. So my point is, if we go like this conventional way, or in this particular case, we need to state that okay, patient insists, or patient is too much anxious.
Well, I mean, in this letter here, it does actually say that she is anxious. If I were the GP, I wouldn't say I'm reluctantly requesting that you do, etc. I would just say, I am writing to request that you do this because Mrs. Conway is anxious. I don't think it's particularly pertinent. I probably wouldn't include it if I were the author, because it doesn't really have any effect on the outcome. You're still asking a professional to do a job. Does it matter if you weren't so keen on it? I don't know. I don't think so.
As far as our mark is not going to deduct it for this, then I think it's probably okay.
Well, I'd be more well, for this one, I'd be more concerned with some of the other things on this letter. I don't think that would have an effect, really. You know, I think there's some more important things which this letter does not address apart from that. Right, so let's move on a bit. We've got a couple more to do. Let's get this off. Okay, put these down for the time being. Let's see what else we've got. We'll just do these last two, then I'm off. I've got other things to do. Let's see what else we've got then. We've just got, what's that noise? We've got two more, and then there's some funny noises coming from somewhere. No. Anyway, so we've got two more. Thank you for agreeing to consult this couple. Consult? Well, you're not consulting them, you are consulting with them. To consult, is it really? All right. Thank you for going to consult this couple who have been trying to conceive for 18 months. They require your expert opinion on their condition. Okay, I would have put the name in there. I mean, you can see it here, but still, I would have said, thank you for, or, you know, I would have personally put the reason. I am writing to refer this couple. I'm writing to request that you see this couple, etc. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of difference really, but I would have probably said, you know, what exactly I wanted you to do. Mr. and Mrs. Conway married for 3 years. Mrs. Conway provides history of pregnancy, which resulted in termination or a termination with a previous partner 10 years ago. Trial of pregnancy was the trial of pregnancy. To try for a pregnancy, not a trial. That is something else. They decided to, right. This is a bit mixed up, jumbled up. We need to sort this out, make it a bit easier to understand. All right. So I would put something like regarding their medical history or something. So put some introductory expression regarding their social medical history, regarding the medical history, etc. Mr. and Mrs. Conway have been married for 3 years, provides a history. Mr. and Mrs. Conway have been married for 3 years. Mrs. Conway has or had a previous, right, Mrs. Conway had a previous termination. Mrs. Conway had a previous previous pregnancy, which was terminated, or had a previous abortion with a previous partner 10 years ago. Okay. The Conways, Miss Miss going about it for 3 years. So they decided to try for a child 1 year before they were married. Okay, so again, it's kind of confusing. Isn't married for 3 years. Does that? Now it says conceived for 18 months. I mean, decided 4 years ago. This is confusing me, and if it's confusing me, it will confuse the reader. Right, let me consult these notes again. So 18 months, previous pregnancy 10 years ago, married for 3 years, decided to have a pregnancy in May 2006 when Karen stopped the pill. So why does it say 18 months? It's confusing me. To 2010. Hang on. Let me just try and get my head around this. So the date today is 2010. Okay, so they've been trying for 18 months. So decided to try for pregnancy in 2006. So why? Oh dear, it's giving me a headache. So it says here they've been trying to conceive for 18 months. So what is all this about? 4 years, 5 years when she stopped the pill? I don't know. It's confusing me. If anybody can spread light on this, I would appreciate it, because it's confusing me. So all right. So no, about 10 years. Right, this man 3 years. She had a previous pregnancy. So we can cut this right down. There's far too much information here. So they decided to try for the baby 4 years ago. and Mrs. Conway stopped taking contraception, which she had been taking for the previous 5 years. Okay, right. I think that's making a little bit more sense now. So, Mr. Conway is a moderate drinker and works away from home. So we need somebody to introduce this. Now, let's go to you can say something like, as for Mr. Conway, instead of just saying Mr. Conway, as for Mr. Conway, he is a moderate drinker, works approximately 14 days in a month. There is no issue. Oh, okay, right, that's got it clearer, I think. Mrs. Conway presented complaining of the above mentioned problems. Okay, apart from the spouse, visits from review today. That included were normal relationships with Mr. Conway argued that Trapezi should need more time. He was requested. Did he argue? I thought he was reluctant. Did he argue? Trapezi in the time was an experience, no sex education was just to be Mr. Conway, specialist consultants. Okay, right. That's not so bad. That paragraph 2 was a little bit confusing. Okay, so I'll put it over to you now. Anybody have any questions about this one? Does anybody want to make any comments about this? Anybody got anything they want to say? No? Okay, I'll take it that's a no. Nobody's got anything they want to say. Any questions? We'll move on to the last one. We just check the word count. 255, that's a little bit long. Again, you could have cut it down. So we've had what, 290, 250, 250. We only need just over 200. Okay, let's try this next one, and then I'll be off. So, what's the word count here? 242. Okay, that's not too bad, but still it's a little bit long. Thank you for seeing Mrs. Conway, who complains of secondary infertility. Who complains? Thank you for seeing Mrs. Conway, who is complaining of secondary infertility for 18 months. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate if you could further mention your case and provide suitable procedures for conception. Suitable procedures. Okay. Regarding her medical history, Mrs. Conway has no medical problems. All right. No medical problems in addition to regular periods, and has okay. Apparently, William's 53 years old. He seems to drink. That sign seems a judgment. I don't think he is a heavy drinker. Is he? I don't think it said he's a particularly heavy drinker. Let's have a look. I don't think he. So she says that he does, but he doesn't agree that he's a heavy drinker. 10 units a week is not heavy drinking, is it? I thought the limit for men was 14 units a week or something. Is it not? Yeah, 14 a week. So 10 units doesn't seem to particularly heavily. So yeah, I would make it is complaining instead of present perfect. Make it present continuous. She's complaining now. So infertility, 18 months. Never smokes as well as her? What, you mean she doesn't smoke either? Okay, we're imagining a medical problem. Seems to think Ellie never smokes as well as her. Neither. So you say neither does she. I don't think you would say anything about that. If they don't actually do it, then why include it? Please note she stopped the pill or stopped taking the pill to conceive after she had been placed on for the previous 5 years. She stopped taking the pill May 2006 after having taken it for the previous after taken it for the previous. Eventually, she failed what? She failed taking the pill. She failed stopping taking the pill. She failed to conceive. That doesn't make sense. It's a dangling participle, not very clear, so best to take it out. Okay. Presented seeking pregnancy. Seeking? Is that a good verb? I am seeking to be pregnant. No, that's not a very good verb, no. Wanting to be, but seeking, it's like a journey. It's like a quest. I am seeking the pregnancy grail. No. So we wouldn't use that as a verb. Her examination was normal except for being overweight. Some having those services were ordered to be reviewed on phone visit. Today's review, both partners and were reassured they she's come with tests. Did not know was normal. Okay, yeah. That's good. 2 weeks after his work, they were advised. A noun, not advice. Sorry, advised a verb, not advice. A noun. Actually, potentially up to his marriage upon her insistence. It was planned, which I think was like acid 400. Administration. For checking. Oh. If you or the above remember coming to your centre any queries, don't hesitate to contact me. Okay. Right, I'm going to chuck this open for comments. I'm going soon. And something wrong with my mouse doesn't seem to be working, so I'm going to chuck this open for comments and questions. But I'm going. So, anybody, your microphone on. Hello, hello.
Thank you, Kevin, for your time. My question is, can I write instead of the couple of or Mrs. or Miss Conway? Can just I write the Conway? You
can write the Conways. Yeah.
So I need to put an S at the end. Conways.
Yeah, because there are 2 of them. So you can put the Conways. Oh, sorry, that needs to be capitalized. The Conways, or use a pronoun they, them, the Conways. I say that, yeah.
All right, thank you.
I mean, you can say Mr. and Mrs. I know some people don't like to use that now because it's kind of sexist. Look, Mr. always comes first. I mean, you know, some people who don't like to say Mr. and Mrs., they would just use the Conways. So,
yeah. I'm just looking for alternatives, so not to repeat myself during the.
Well, the Conways is fine, or simply use a pronoun, they or them. That would be fine.
Thank you very much.
No, that's okay. Any time? So we've got another question here. Hanan?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. I have a question regarding the sentence. Please note that she stopped taking the pills. If I write it in the past simple, like she stopped the pill as to conceive after she had taken for the previous, because the previous means that something happened in the past and no longer occurring, that she's not still, I'm confused about having taken. Having taken, this means that she's still taking them or not?
Which sentence is that?
It's in the letter. Please note that she stopped taking the pill in May 2016.
2006, yeah. So
Okay.
because
After,
we know when she stopped, so that's why I would make it the simple past.
okay, but regarding the other sentence, after having taking
Taken
it for the previous, yes, having means means that it is still taking them, or what?
No. Having it taken, well, I mean, so
If I write it had taken,
she
for example.
stopped. Well, from the context, it's, well, I would say it's obvious that she has stopped, so she's not taking the pill anymore. So she had taken it, she was taking it, or she had used the pill before that for 5 years.
Okay, so if I was me who I'm writing, I will say, please note that she stopped taking the pills after she had taken. So this is right or not? After she had taken.
Confusing.
Because she,
Well,
is that is,
it's that's not as clear as, right. So there's several different ways that you could do it, but you would have to make it clear how long she had been taking the pill for and when that action it stopped. So she stopped taking the pill in 2006, but before, leading up to that time, she had been taking it or taking it for 5 years before. So that's why it says for the previous 5 years. So that would be
yeah. So had been taking it or had taken it, which is better in your point of view?
Well, you had taken for 5 years. You could make it past perfect. I just put it having because it's good for the period of time. You could, if it's had taken, there's several different ways. It doesn't really change. It doesn't make a lot of difference, really.
Yeah, I'm.
You say,
yeah, I'm just a. Yeah, sorry.
Take for here. Let me say, which she used to take for, but she doesn't take now, which she has taken or took. It doesn't, it's as long as it's clear in your sentence what the sequence is.
Yeah.
Different ways, and I'm not gonna go through every single way that you could express that, but there's several different ways that you could.
Yeah, I understand you are English professional, but for me, if I'm going to use a word like previous, I would be confused to use something like having. So if I used had, it's okay. That's what I understand from you. That's right?
As long as it is clear, it doesn't matter. It's
yeah. So yeah, I'm just checking my answer.
The way that this sentence was composed, it didn't work. So that is why I changed it. Let me put this out of these ways so we can see it a little better. This particular example here. So the structure that they used, that after she had been placed on, that it doesn't work. So in the context of this particular sentence, that's why I changed it. Now,
yes.
there's other ways that you could express that, but just for this particular one, please note that she stopped in May 2006. So we've got a past event. We know when that occurred. She was taking this pill as an activity that stopped. We know exactly when. That occurred in May 2006. But before that, up to that point, she had been using it for 5 years. So that's for that particular sentence there. Okay, so let's see what else.
Okay, thank you.
Got. Ahmed, I'll turn yours on again. Hello, Ahmed.
Doctor, please, doctor, this is my letter. I have 2 questions, please. First, what about short sentences like her cervical smear was also normal? I expected that you would comment on this sentence. Is it odd or okay?
Well, right. I only usually say it's bad when you have a sequence of them. And here we only have 1. Now, some letters have 2, 3, or 4 of these very short sentences, and that does not work. I would advise that you combine, those, but it's only 1.
Okay.
If you had a sequence of them, I would say, well, no, they should be combined. Put the information into a longer sentence, have a main clause, a subordinate clause, but you are supposed to use a mixture of structures, so
okay.
It's only 1. So that's okay. If you had 1, 2, 3 consecutively, then I would say, yeah, but it's only 1.
Okay, and regarding take, I was told that it's informal to include in a professional letter. Formal.
Can you maybe speak a little bit louder, because it's not so easy to understand? What do you say?
I'm asking you if take, the verb take, is formal to include in a professional letter or not. I was told that it's informal.
How is take informal?
Instead of writing take, has been placed on received instead of take. Is it okay to include take in a letter? It's formal.
Of course it is. It's a good verb. It's neither formal nor informal, really. It's only a verb. Take. If you're talking about, like some verbs, yes. So such as instead of ask, you can say request. Instead of tell, you can say informed. In that sense, yes. But take, there's not a lot that you can use instead of take. If it's like ask, request, tell, inform, but there's nothing wrong with take. That's a perfectly good verb. Right, I'm almost out of time, less than a minute, so this will probably turn off in a second. So I shall be off. I've got things to do. I'll be on Telegram for a minute or 2, then I'm off. I've got other things to take care of. I'll try and correct some other letters this afternoon if I get time. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'll be in Telegram for a minute or 2. I've recorded this. I'll probably post it later. Okay.